Starting the live stream a little bit early tonight. We have all kinds of clouds in the area, and besides that, you can already see the smoke from the agricultural fires in Mexico Mexico and Central America. Let me get my ugly mug off of this thing. Hold on. Okay, hopefully I'm not pegging this to the red. Sorry if I blew you folks out for a minute. As you can see, we got a big old yellow sun right next to what looks like a dip in the clouds, and that's just where the sun's powerful enough to get through all of that smoke. I'm going to pull out a little bit, and it looks like we're getting pretty good color change around tonight. We have a good amount of cirrus, a few cumulus clouds, so I expect a fairly colorful show tonight. It won't be fantastic. It won't be awe-inspiring to the degree that for some of the sunsets I've seen, but it should be a pretty nice deal. I'm going to keep quiet while I'm flying the drone. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Thanks. I'll leave the drone zoomed in on the sun until the point we can't see it anymore through the smoke, and then I'll pull back so we can see more of the colors. If you live in San Antonio and can see the horizon tonight, this is a good night to actually take a look at the sunset. You can really see how the smoke is affecting our view. Once again, any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. Toward the top of the screen, you probably can see a jet airplane. That happens quite a lot up in this area. Um, it'll be a small outline. It's probably already out of the frame. Feel free to back up in a live feed to take a look at it. Okay, now with the sun pretty much obscured, I'm going to zoom back out. So we can see a little bit more of the color from the sunset tonight. Notice that we have a good amount of cirrus clouds in the sky. Normally those would produce some real interesting orange hues and red hues with the angle of the sun there is right now. But for tonight, because of all that smoke in the sky, what you're going to see primarily is like a burnt orange or maybe some reds, very few purples tonight, more beiges and whites. To answer a chat question about how thick are the um, smoke clouds compared to um, clouds in general, well, it really depends on the cloud type that you're comparing it to. If you're comparing it to like feathery cirrus clouds, the smoke itself over a large area, even when compared to cirrus clouds, tends to be a little less dense. But because it hangs so much lower in the sky and so much closer to the horizon, it gives the appearance that it's really thick. Um, it's an optical illusion, really. Now, today is an exception. The smoke is pretty thick, and between the clouds and the smoke, it can be a little bit hard to determine each unless you're looking at a satellite picture. But for the most part, it's usually pretty easy to determine that the smoke is usually a little lighter for as far as transparency compared to some other types of clouds. I know you can't see it because of the way I've cropped the screen, but you probably saw strong wind warnings. This is one of those nights where it is it will be very difficult to keep the drone up for long. This is a night where maybe I'll have 20, 25 minutes of flying time. Um, the drone will give me wind warnings when it gets around 30 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour. Anything above that could damage the drone and cause it to crash. So when that happens, I normally go a little bit lower than I'm doing now. So I was at 200 feet. I'm now at approximately 120 feet. Um, With regard to smoke, I'm going to throw up a quick satellite image. What you can see is a lighter area all across down the Texas coastline in the Gulf of Mexico. It looks almost a little bit brown. That is the smoke from the agricultural burning in Mexico and Central America. Notice that it's a little bit lighter in color than any of the clouds you're seeing in the satellite imagery. If you look closer up North Texas toward the Texas Panhandle, you will see cirrus clouds that are a little bit brighter, a little bit wider. So that gives you an idea of what it looks like for as far as seeing smoke on a satellite picture versus seeing cirrus clouds or cumulus clouds. I have about 7 or 8 minutes of flight time left, so I'm going to scroll around in the sky a little bit so we can see how everything else is looking. Lots of streamers of cirrus, occasional cumulus cloud. And if you have clear skies tonight, tonight's a really good night to take a close look at the moon. You'll see that in your southeastern sky. And let me keep going. And that brings us around to where the sun has just set. Since we don't have a whole lot of people online tonight, tonight's a good night to actually give you a pilot's eye view of what I'm seeing when I'm flying the drone. Starting off in the lower left-hand corner, um, directions for north, southeast, and west. Um, a bar graph which helps me with the as far as getting the light correct for the video. Toward the top of the screen, you can see how much power and or flight time I have left. The flight time varies depending on how strong the wind is, how much I fly my drone. The little thing that looks like bars for a cell phone signal is how strong the radio signal is between my drone and its controller. And a bunch of other things that you can look at for as far as toward the bottom right with regard to what the camera settings I'm currently using. Bottom left, you can see that my drone's not flying upwards or downwards. It is about 27.5 feet away, and we're talking about a horizontal distance away from my house, and I'm currently hovering at about 120 feet. The sun set about a minute or so ago. Um, this is going to be another one of those nights where there isn't a whole lot of dramatic change in color, since I'm already seeing pinks and reds on the horizon, and most of the clouds have already turned to gray. There's a little bit of pink in the upper right hand corner, so I'll keep this going for another 3-4 minutes, so giving myself enough time so I can safely land a drone. Okay, that'll be it for tonight's sunset stream. Thanks for tuning in. My drone's already telling me that I need to land, so I don't have a choice in the matter. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see